Hey there, good people. It is I, Lauren LC, holistic health and fitness extraordinaire, and I want to talk about intermittent fasting. I want to go a little bit in depth. Some people have some questions, and I got answers. Stay tuned. All right, so just the basics. Intermittent fasting is literally an eating cycle or pattern of when you fast for however many hours and then you eat for however many hours. It's a great process to particularly use. It helps people to kind of be within like a schedule. There's many different forms that you could particularly do. The most popular is the 16 to 8, and that's when you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 within an 8-hour window. Most of the time people may skip breakfast and they'll start eating from like noon. So I do like a 12 to 8. Some people do a 1 to 9, whatever works for their particular schedule. Some people eat, the early part of the day and then don't eat dinner, so they may do like a 10 to 6 or something of that nature. Now, not all people are able to jump right away, especially if you've been eating all day throughout the day. You can start tapering yourself down. You could do a week of, if 12 to 12, 12 hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You only eat within that window, and like no other snacks or anything like that. Like you literally you start eating at 8 a.m. and you stop eating at 8 p.m. Anything outside of that is just water. You could do tea, you could do coffee if it's in the morning. In the evening, no, of course. And then you can start tapering your way down. So you could do a 12-hour window of eating, then you can go down to 10 hours, then you can go down to 8. So, you can do the 12-12, 10-14, and then 16-8. So what's great is because once your body hits that 14-hour mark, you start to develop HGH. So that is human growth hormones. And that's when your body is literally at its peak of the fasting state, and it literally starts going into your fat storage and start using stored fat for glycogen, energy, and your body is literally utilizing the last of that to be able to burn fat. So when you hit past that 14-hour to 16, that's like that good sweet spot. And then you can start bringing back in some calories to be able to use. Now, one of the things I want to make sure is and make clear is that a lot of people think that you like literally don't eat anything, only water. I had some people who felt as I've heard people who don't do anything. That is a no-no. You do not just literally deplete your body from everything. You need to hydrate, okay? It's super important that you do that. Also, sometimes people fast for way too long. Now, there's people who do like a 24-hour fast, and you shouldn't necessarily do those on 2 consecutive days back to back. You want to do them 1 or 2 times out of the week for 24 hours, but definitely get your water that you need. You can still get, if you hit like a super low caloric intake, like some people would drink like celery juice or juice, eat cucumbers. Those are so low calories that your body is still in this fasting state. One of the things that I particularly use, and I have my fave go-tos with intermittent fasting, because a lot of people is like, oh, when I fast, I get kind of frail. How do you still keep like your muscle mass? How do you get your protein? So I want to talk about one of like, this is the GOAT for me, like the greatest of all time. And this is the Super Amino 23. It is a pre-digested protein, and it literally gets absorbed into your muscles in 23 minutes. It has 99% utilization rate. So it really helps, the net nitrogen utilization for your body to be able to use the protein synthesis that can be able to be used. It has 9 essential amino acids that your body needs, so you don't have to particularly worry about that. It bypasses your kidney and your liver, so you don't have to worry about losing any of it. That's why it's pre-digested, and you're able to get 99% utilization and absorbed into your muscles. So I really love this. especially when I'm working out in the morning. I particularly use this pre and post workout because I'm still going to keep fasting after, and I've got the necessary proteins to be able to use for body protein synthesis. So this is like really, really good. I'm going to put the link in my bio where you can get access to this in my organic online superfood store. And this is the Super Amino 23. It's, like I said, I've been using it for about 6.5 years. This is like my secret weapon, especially for those who are plant-based, anybody who do intermittent fasting. I utilize these and they have no calories. So you are able to take these, get the proteins that you need while you're fasting. So these are great staples. You know, I have some, I don't do full 24-hour fasting. Sometimes I may go longer than 16 hours, but I always have these. 5 of these is literally enough, the same protein that's like a 10-ounce steak. So it's literally like a size of a deck of a card. That's as much protein difference that's actually being utilized into the muscles. So this is definitely a great staple. So for those who go like, you know, long periods, you want to make sure that your body gets all the minerals and nutrients that it needs. So that's why I'm not a big fan of people who just literally like fast and don't consume anything. Your body needs these things. You want to be able to give your body the necessary vitamin, nutrients, minerals, like you need all of that. So those are big staples that I particularly use. Another thing that I use, because I have a lot of people who ask, like when they go and work out and, you know, they think like, oh, I need my protein shake after. Take it once you start, when it's time for you to break your fast. You can use that to break your fast. Or, you know, depending on your schedule, if you're able to work out and then go and break your fast, cool. But I work out hours way before it's time for me to break my fast. So I do the aminos that I have, and I also have another which is called Super Xanthan. This is really great. It has astaxanthin, which helps to protect your eyes, your joints, your ligaments. It also has organic spirulina, which is literally nature's multivitamin. So, and there's no like calories, so you're having a low caloric index, but you're able to get the nutrients that your body needs, and it's literally being absorbed because you don't have any fat. You know, you're literally depleting a lot of your fat storage and the glycogen storage that your body is using. So these are like key because your body is able to still sustain but still be in that fat burner state, which is your fasting state. So that's some of the things that I pretty much kind of like clarify. And then, like I said, when it's time for me to break my fast, I'll have my protein shake, my fruits, vegetables, all those good things that I necessarily need. So intermittent fasting has been such a game changer for myself and a lot of my clients when you use that particular way and that little trick, because there's a lot of people who deplete, so they don't, like I said, they're just drinking water and not getting anything. So some of the things that you want to be mindful for is if you have any forms of ailments, like there's certain people who cannot do intermittent fasting. So if you have any kind of medications that you take, if you're on any heart medications, if you particularly have a health issue that you need to be on a very strict eating regimen and time, definitely not for you. If you are pregnant, breastfeeding, speak with your doctor before implementing something like this. You can, I've known some who do, but they have to really make sure they get a lot of calories in that window. If you have any kind of fertility issues, you are underweight, you have eating disorders, if you have irregular cycles or even amenorrhea to the point where you have no cycles, that's really, really important. So just kind of be mindful. Also, it's all about just going on a journey and discovering how it best works for you and how you feel. Also, do not confuse feeling hungry for it could possibly be dehydration. So that's why I said have adequate amount of water. This is why I make sure I get the proteins that my body necessarily needs while I fast. I love that one because it's pre-digested. I also do a shot of green barley juice. You can also find that in my organic online superfood store. So I do a shot of green barley juice first thing in the morning, and I actually have a pre-workout. All of these are literally like 5-10 calories. So I'm still in that fat burner state, and I'm getting a lot of the sustainable nutrients that my body needs without literally having to consume high calories or breaking my fast. So some of the benefits of a fast is pretty much it helps you to really stabilize your insulin, increase your human growth hormones. So, you know, the human growth hormones increase and the insulin sensitivity decreases. So it balances out that. So that's why I don't really recommend for people to do a lot of eating. Like you have people who are like, oh, I eat every 3 hours, or I have 6 meals out of the day. That's not ideal if you are a sedentary person or you work out like a normal, like maybe once a day, 2-3 times, even 4 times a week. That kind of eating schedule is for an intense athlete who burns a lot of calories throughout the day. That will work for someone like that. But if you don't, that typically doesn't work for you, and it tricks your body, especially if you have a weight problem, because more than likely you're insulin resistant, and that starts to send your blood sugars to spike up and down, and your body can't balance. So I don't really recommend that. Other benefits of intermittent fasting is improving brain function, heart health. It improves with as far as longevity, and you know, having as far as sense of vitality has been known to, because of the human growth hormones, cellular repair. So your skin, your eyes, your joints, a lot of those things help to particularly improve. If you also your immune system, it helps to increase your immune system, especially if you adapt and implement healthy eating habits. I am really big on gut health, so a lot of the things that I use and the superfoods I use are all great for immune support and gut health. And we have forms of like gut health packs that we implement that I share with those who are on intermittent fasting, those who do our ultimate lifestyle transformation with that on an intermittent fasting schedule. You can get all of that in my superfood store, and you get $50 off for any order $75 or more. So definitely take advantage of that. So there's so many great benefits that you could be able to use with intermittent fasting. I had other questions on the aspects of like, what can you particularly eat when you do that, especially like how do you work with cravings. So you doing intermittent fasting and starting to stabilize will help you to start eating more on a strict schedule where you don't have as much cravings. But like I said, taper if it's hard. You could do the 12 to 12 and then start breaking down to having 12-hour fat eating windows, 10 to 8, like break it down. And some do like, you know, even like the 18-6. I would say that's where your cap. Don't overdo it, especially if you're a female. So those things you could be able to do, and then just keep to a healthy diet that works for you and your lifestyle. You could be plant-based. You can have paleo, keto. Those who implement forms of healthy eating lifestyles that really gives you the most nutrients, and with intermittent fasting, have amazing results. So if you have any more questions and you want to know a little bit more about that, or you need help to kind of figure out what best regimens work for you, you have any questions about gut health, cleansing, detoxing, all of those things, definitely I'll put the link below where you can schedule a discovery call with me, a nutrition and lifestyle discovery call, where we can see what best works for you and any questions that you have. All right, and then I can recommend best regimens for you. Another thing is too, where people do ask me, they see like I use supplements or whatever. As far as they see their supplements, they're all whole food sources, no synthetics. Like literally, if you look and read, everything is from a food source. So it works in that nature. But some people ask like, what about my vitamins? Or I take a woman's one a day. I don't recommend any synthetics, because it's literally like your body is like combined to work with nature, right? You want to follow the whole ecosystem, right? So the nutrients that is in the food has this DNA storage that match to yours and bind. It's like a key, like that has the perfect cut. Like God is the locksmith that gives the foods, and that's the perfect key to open the door to your health and wellness. And the structure, like if I were to take a magnifying glass and really look into the structure, the molecular structure of natural fruits and vegetables, it fits in the way that it can really work towards your cells. When you start having anything that's synthetic, or even a lot of times, don't be fooled when you see vitamins that say plant source. Turn that over, look and read. If you see ascorbic acid, magnesium stearate, citric acid, gelatin, any of those forms, those are synthetic sources, and they're not literally meant to bind with your body. Also, if you are going to have it, you know, have it in your eating window, because more than likely it is a fat soluble and you can come out of your fasting state. But those are some of the things that I particularly really coach and share, is really understanding. One of the things too is you want to look and read when things say manufactured in for. I talked about this in my protein video, where you want to go with a place that has been manufactured and distributed. There's no third-party middleman or anything. I can attest that any of the superfoods that we particularly have that's in my online organic superfood store has been in-house manufactured. So everything has been grown organically from a farm that has been pesticide, herbicide, such as glyphosate, that's a big thing that is literally in our air and our food, there's none of that in the crops, okay? So you are getting such a great source, because it's like a catch-22. You're getting these, you know, these supplements, and they may come from, you know, GMO corn, which has like sugars and any artificial sugars or corn syrups and things like that comes from corn, and they're GMO and can be filled with pesticides and herbicides like glyphosate. So I can do, if you want me to kind of discuss and talk a little bit more about that, let me know in the comments. I can always talk a little bit more about that, and you know, how our body literally marries and take on the DNA from our foods and vitamin supplements, the whole thing with that. You really want to go with a whole food source. Everything I have, like I said, is dry freeze, so it's literally to a point where it was grown organically and then frozen, and then it was low pressured, and then it goes through a sublimation process where it literally pulls the ice and the liquid out, and you have a powder form. So it's as raw as it can get. So there's no heat or anything like that that's lost, that you can happen to lose when you do juicing and stuff like that because of the heat from the machine. So I can always talk and share more about that. I want to make sure that I keep that on an intermittent fasting, but those were some of the questions that people had when I discussed the first video that I had on intermittent fasting. So I wanted to kind of clear that air on when to use and take those things, and some things that you should really pay attention to. All right, I hope this helps. Make sure you subscribe to this video, like this video, and share it with others, and then comment below and let me know what else you would like for me to talk on. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at LCFITSYOU, and I'll holler at you later.